Hey, it's Greg from Evolution Mental Health Services. So, we're going to start a little series that's like Therapy 101, just basic questions people have about therapy. And the question we're going to address today is, what is therapy? That seems like a good place to start, right? So, what is therapy? My favorite description of what therapy is or is not comes from the book Motivational Interviewing by Miller and Rolnick. So in that book, they describe a therapist as a tour guide. Okay. So let me explain what that means. So let's say you've never been to Tulsa, Oklahoma before. Now that's where I live. I've lived here for quite a few years. I'm pretty familiar with the city. So let's say you and I are friends and you want to visit Tulsa. You've never been here before. And you call me and you say, Greg, I want to come visit Tulsa. I know that's where you're at. That's where you've been for a long time. You're going to know the spots. You're going to know the things to do. So I want you to help me out so I can have a great trip. Awesome. Now I'm your tour guide for Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay. There's different ways I could go about that, right? So one thing I could do is when you get here, I could take you to all my favorite spots in Tulsa. I could take you to my favorite restaurants, my favorite events, my favorite shops, all different things like that. So that's one thing I can do. I can have you do what I like to do in Tulsa. And that will work great if you're just like me and you have all the same preferences I have. Okay. But chances are you're probably not just like me. Maybe we have some things in common, probably some things we don't have in common. So some of the things I might drag you to, you might not enjoy so much. So that's one approach we could take. So how that translates into therapy is that's what we call like the advice giving. You know what I mean? So you come in and you say, Greg, I've got this problem. Can you help me with it? And I say, yeah, do this, do this, do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. And I just tell you what to do. It's not therapy, okay? So we're not giving advice. We're not telling you what to do. Just like a good tour guide doesn't just drag people to the things that they like, okay? Now, another thing I could do as your tour guide in Tulsa is I could say, awesome, glad you're coming. When you get here, give me a call. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you. I hope you have fun. And then you show up to Tulsa and you're like, Greg, I'm here. And I'm like, great, cool. What are you going to do? Oh, yeah, that sounds fun. All right, well, let me know if you need anything. I'll talk to you later. And I just kind of leave you on your own, and you can call me if you need me, but that's about as much as I give to you, you know. That probably wouldn't work out very well either. I mean, maybe you're, a real go get 'em type person, and you do a lot of your own research and you find some things to do that you like. But it's probably not as helpful as it would be if you had a local helping you out, right? So how that translates into therapy is that's where, that would be if you came in and you say, Greg, I got this problem. And I'm like, okay, tell me about it. And then you just talk for an hour and I don't do much of anything. Okay. And that can happen sometimes where the client just kind of goes on and on and on and on without much guidance or feedback from the therapist. That's not helpful either, right? You came because you want some feedback, okay? So let's talk about the third approach. This is the ideal tour guide approach, right? So you tell me, you say, Greg, I'm going to come to Tulsa and I want some help to have the best experience possible. No problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you, okay, what do you like? What kind of trip are you wanting to have? What kind of experiences are you looking for? I'm going to ask you what kind of food you like. I'm going to ask you, what kind of events you like to go to. I'm going to ask you what kind of shops you like to go to, things like that. So you tell me you like Italian food. Cool. I'm going to use my knowledge of Tulsa to steer you to some good Italian restaurants. You tell me you like sports. Awesome. I'm going to use my knowledge of the city to help you find a cool sporting event to go to. You tell me you like a certain type of shopping. Cool. I'm going to use my knowledge of the city to tell you this is where you should go to find those types of items, that sort of thing. So I'm taking your goals, what you want to achieve on your trip, and using my knowledge and experience to help guide you toward those goals. That's the best approach in therapy as well, right? So you come in, you tell me, Greg, here's my issue I want to work on, and I ask you, okay, what do you want to accomplish here? What are your goals? And you tell me, well, this is the goal I want to achieve, through this therapy process. I take your interest, your goals, your desires, combine that with my knowledge of, mental health and humans and how people work and my years of experience and my education and training and all that. And I guide you toward your goal based on my knowledge and experience. All right. That's my favorite um, kind of description of how therapy works. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's helpful for you. Stay tuned. Next time, we'll cover some more questions in this Therapy 101 series. That's it for today. Evolve, be who you want to be.